Hey Vet Science, welcome to our next video on pathway of gases in the respiration system. So we're going to focus on the respiration events, the events that occur when we do a full cycle of the respiration system. First is breathing. Breathing is when we move air into and out of the lungs. This can also be called ventilation through the process of inhalation and exhalation. Inhalation means simply when we inhale or breathe in like this. That's an inhale, okay? When we inhale, we lower the diaphragm, and this expands the volume of the chest cavity, okay? This is going to obviously increase the volume of the chest cavity, and since our chest cavity and our lungs are getting bigger, right? Since they're getting bigger, there's gonna be more room for the little molecules that are in our lungs and our chest to bounce around, so the pressure is going to decrease, okay? When we increase our volume, we decrease our pressure, okay? On the flip side, exhalation is accomplished by relaxing the chest and allowing the elastic recoil of the alveoli to force air out of lungs. So I'm inhaling right now and exhaling. So when I do that, the pressure, you think that's going up or down? Okay, well, let's think about it. When I am forcing air out of the lungs, I am decreasing the volume of my lungs because air is going out. So the pressure is actually going up, right? Because there's less space in my lungs. So those gas molecules in my lungs are in closer contact to one another. So the pressure actually goes up. And this can be confirmed by the GIF on the right side. We see it exhaling right now, those lungs getting smaller, those molecules getting closer and closer together. We rest. And then we inhale and they expand out again. So there's more room for those molecules to interact. Therefore, the pressure changes, right? We can confirm this here on this diagram, okay? So as the pressure goes down on the left-hand side, when we have contraction downward, inspiration or breathing in, the volume goes up. And on the other side, when the diaphragm relaxes upward in the expiration or breathing out, our pressure goes up and our volume of our lungs goes down. Again, this is another diagram that may help you if you're interested in looking at that. Now we're going to focus on external respiration. This is the exchange of gases between air and the lungs and the blood. Gas exchange in the lungs takes place in the alveoli. Inhalation inflates the millions of alveoli in the lungs. Oxygen and carbon dioxide diffuse, and we talked about diffusion in this class. They diffuse through the wall, okay? I'm not going to expect you to memorize the diagram on the right, but just know that this diffusion occurs through the alveolar wall. Then lastly, we're going to focus on gas transport, internal respiration, and cellular respiration. Gas transport by blood. As oxygen is dissolved in the blood, it rapidly combines with hemoglobin to form oxyhemoglobin. Okay, oxy is obviously oxygen, and hemoglobin is hemoglobin. Each hemoglobin molecule can bind up to 4 oxygen molecules. Okay, so we can see that in our little diagram over on the right-hand side. So 1, 2, looks like there's 3 oxygen molecules over here. Almost all of the oxygen, over 98%, is carried in the blood by attachment to the hemoglobin. Hemoglobin, by the way, is an essential protein in red blood cells and contains iron, which gives blood its red color. And when we get into our cardiovascular and circulatory system unit here in the next couple of sections, we'll spend a lot of time talking about blood and the properties of blood. But basically, for now, I want you to know that oxygen is dissolved in the blood and it combines to form oxyhemoglobin. And this provides that oxygen-rich blood that's circulated throughout our body. Gas exchange between blood and cells. Oxygen simply enters the bloodstream and carbon dioxide is released at that time. So we can confirm that in this diagram. When our oxygen enters, it releases the carbon dioxide within each of the red blood cells. Finally, the pathway of gases. So we have our nose, our mouth, our nasal area. Then we have our pharynx, our larynx, our trachea, our bronchial tree in the lungs, and our alveoli. So that is, we start at the nose and mouth, and we end up at the alveoli. And that is our complete respiration process. We are going to stop there for now, and we'll see you at the next video.